Hey Reddit, I'm Carol Morales, 32 years old, and right now, I'm sitting in my cozy apartment in Chicago, sipping coffee as a successful oncologist who saved more lives than I can count. I've got a great job at a top hospital, a circle of friends who feel like real family, and yeah, I finally bought that dream car last year, a sleek red Tesla that screams I made it. But let me tell you, life wasn't always this good. In fact, it was a nightmare, thanks to my so-called family. Just last month, my alcoholic mom, let's call her Karen because why not, she fits the stereotype, called me up in hysterics. She has leukemia, advanced stage, and guess what? After all the tests, I'm the only perfect match for a bone marrow transplant in the whole damn family. Me, the daughter she treated like garbage her whole life. So I drove to that family meeting at the hospital, looked her straight in the eye, and said no. Not a chance. The room exploded. My siblings screaming I'm a heartless bitch, my aunts and uncles calling me a monster who doesn't understand family loyalty. But oh, they had no idea what was coming. I pulled out a folder thick with evidence from my past, stuff I'd kept hidden for years, and laid it all out. Police reports from when I was a kid, medical records showing hypothermia and frostbite scars that still ache in the cold. This is why, I said, my voice shaking with rage. You did this to me, and now you want my body to save yours? Hell no. My mom burst into tears, begging, but I didn't budge. Who the hell does that to their own child? It felt like sweet, cold justice after decades of pain. But to understand why I could say no without a shred of guilt, you need to hear how it all started. Back when I was just a scared little girl, trying to survive in a house that felt like a war zone. And trust me, it gets so much worse from here. I still wake up sweating, remembering those nights alone in the snow, wondering if anyone would ever care enough to save me. Okay, let's rewind to my childhood, because that's where the real horror show began. I grew up in a rundown suburb outside Detroit, in a house that always reeked of cheap vodka and cigarette smoke. My mom, Karen, was a full-blown alcoholic by the time I was 5. Dad left when I was 3, smart man honestly, and she blamed me for everything. You're the reason he ran off, she'd slur at me while pouring another drink. Ugly little brat. I was the oldest of 3 kids, me, then my brother Jake who's 2 years younger, and my sister Lisa, the baby by 5 years. But I was always the scapegoat. For the tiniest things, she'd kick me out of the house. Spilled milk? Out on the porch until morning. Forgot to wash a dish? Sleep in the garage. I remember being 7, huddled in the backyard shed during a rainstorm, soaking wet and shivering, crying for hours while she laughed inside with her latest boyfriend. Tough love, she'd call it. Builds character. Builds trauma, more like. Who locks a child out in the elements like some stray dog? My siblings? They got off easy. Jake could smash a window playing ball, and she'd just shrug. Lisa could throw tantrums, and mom would coo over her. But me? I had to be perfect, or else. By age 10, I was forging her signature on school notes because she'd be passed out drunk during parent-teacher conferences. Teachers noticed the bruises, oh yeah she hit too with belts or whatever was handy, but when CPS came knocking, mom would sober up just enough to charm them. Carol's clumsy, she'd say with that fake smile. Kids, am I right? And they'd leave. My aunts and uncles? They knew. Uncle Bob once saw me locked out in the rain and just drove away, saying, your mom's got her methods. Family loyalty, my ass. They enabled her, whispering that I was difficult or rebellious. Difficult? I was a straight A student, cooking meals for my siblings, cleaning the house to avoid her wrath. But nothing was ever enough. One winter when I was 11, she kicked me out for talking back. I asked if we could afford heat that month, and I spent the night in a neighbor's doghouse. Frost on my eyelashes, fingers numb. The next day, I pretended like nothing happened at school. Kids teased me for my chapped lips and red nose, but I smiled through it. Survival mode, you know? And that was just the beginning. The punishments got crueler as I got older, like she was testing how much I could take before I broke. But I didn't break, not yet. I started keeping a secret journal, noting every incident, every slap, every night outside. Little did I know, that journal would become my weapon one day. God, thinking about it now, I'm furious all over again. How could a mother do that? But wait until you hear what happened when I turned 14, that's when she crossed a line that still haunts me, leaving scars deeper than any frostbite. So, fast forward to age 14. I was in high school, awkward as hell, dealing with puberty and trying to blend in. Mom's drinking had escalated, bottles hidden everywhere, her mood swinging like a wrecking ball. Jake and Lisa were her golden kids by then. She'd spoil them with what little money we had from her disability checks, while I worked after-school jobs at a diner to buy my own clothes and food. "Earn your keep," she'd snap. One December evening, it was brutal cold. Michigan winters don't mess around, temps dropping to single digits with wind chill making it feel like -20. I came home late from work because the bus broke down. That's it. No big rebellion, just a delayed bus. Mom was wasted, screaming that I was out whoring around, or some nonsense. I tried to explain, but she grabbed me by the hair, dragged me to the door, and shoved me out. "Don't come back until you learn respect," she yelled, slamming the door and locking it. I banged on it begging, "Mom please, it's freezing." Nothing. Lights went out inside. I had no coat, just my thin uniform from the diner. Snow was falling hard, piling up fast. I huddled on the porch for hours, but the wind cut through me like knives. Eventually, I wandered to a park nearby, found a slide to curl under, but it was no shelter. Shivering so bad my teeth chattered non-stop. That first night, I thought I'd die. Hallucinations kicked in from the cold, seeing shadows, hearing voices. By morning, a jogger found me half frozen and called the cops. They took me to the ER for hypothermia treatment, for fluids, warming blankets. Doctors said I was lucky, another hour and it could have been organ failure. Police questioned Mom, but she played the victim, teenagers, so dramatic. She ran away. They bought it, sent me back home with a warning. But she wasn't done. The next day, she kicked me out again for causing trouble with the law. Same story, out in the snow. This time, I hid in an abandoned shed, eating snow for water, too scared to knock on doors. Day 3? Even worse. Blizzard hit, visibility 0. I collapsed in a ditch, blacking out. Woke up in the hospital again, this time with frostbite on my toes and fingers, permanent nerve damage that still tingles today. Cops came back, filed a report, but Mom sobbed to them about her troubled daughter. No charges. My family? Aunts called to lecture me, "Forgive your mom, she's struggling." Uncle Bob sent a card, "Family sticks together." Sticks together? They left me to freeze. I was livid, but what could a kid do? I started collecting those police reports, hospital bills, stashing them in a lockbox under my bed. School counselor noticed, got me into therapy secretly, but Mom found out and forbade it. No shrinks in this family. By 16, I was counting days to escape, working double shifts, saving every penny. But the abuse ramped up. She'd mock my scars, call me Frosty the Snow Bitch. My siblings joined in, teasing me to curry favor with her. Jake once locked me out himself, laughing. Lisa stole my savings once, and Mom blamed me for tempting her. It was a toxic pit, and I was drowning. God, the rage I feel now, how did I survive? But adulthood brought new lows, ones that made me question if blood really means anything at all. Alright, entering my early 20s, finally out of that hellhole. I graduated high school top of my class, got a full scholarship to college for pre-med. Moved into dorms at 18 and never looked back, or so I thought. Mom called constantly, demanding money. "You owe me for raising you." Raising me? More like ruining me. I'd send small amounts at first, guilt eating at me, but it never stopped. She'd blow it on booze, then beg more. My siblings? Jake dropped out of school, mooching off her, while Lisa got pregnant young and expected me to foot the bill. Family helps family, they'd say. Bullshit. I was grinding through med school, pulling all-nighters, interning at hospitals, building my life from scratch. No support from them, ever. In fact, they sabotaged. At 22, during finals week, Mom showed up drunk at my apartment, causing a scene. Screaming in the hallway about how I abandoned her. Neighbors called cops. I was mortified. She trashed my place before leaving, broke my laptop with all my notes. I failed a test because of it, had to retake the class. Cost me thousands. When I confronted her, she laughed, "Serves you right for being ungrateful." Ungrateful? I'd sent her money for rent that month. Family piled on. Aunt Sue texted, "Your poor mother, all alone because of you." Uncle Bob, "Blood is thicker than water, Carol. Step up." Thicker? It felt like poison in my veins. By 25, I was a resident doctor, specializing in oncology because, ironically, I wanted to help people like her, cancer patients. But she kept pulling stunts. Once, she faked a heart attack to get me home. I rushed back, only to find her partying with friends. "Gotcha," she cackled. I was furious, missed a shift, risked my job. Siblings defended her, "She's just lonely." Lonely my ass, she had enablers everywhere. Then, at 27, during my engagement to a great guy, who I later dumped because turns out, he was cheating, whole other story, Mom crashed the party. Drunk, she told everyone about my troubled past, exaggerating lies. Carol was a runaway, always in trouble. Guests stared. My fiancé's family backed out of helping with the wedding. Humiliation level, expert. I cut contact for a year after that, but guilt crept back. Holidays, they bombard me with calls, "Come home, forgive and forget." Forget? The scars on my feet from frostbite reminded me daily. I started therapy again, secretly building my case, scanning old documents, getting affidavits from old neighbors who'd seen the abuse. But the family kept manipulating. Jake borrowed money for rehab, then ghosted. Lisa dumped her kid on me for weeks, saying, "You're rich now, Aunt Carol." Rich? I was in debt from loans. It was endless, draining me emotionally, financially. By 30, I was done pretending. But one final betrayal pushed me over the edge, shattering any leftover illusions of family. It was so vile, so soul-crushing, I still can't believe they stooped that low. This is the part that still makes my blood boil, the absolute breaking point. I was 31, finally thriving as an oncologist, paying off debts, dating a kind guy named Alex who's now my rock. Life was stabilizing. Then bam, Mom calls, sobbing. "I have cancer," she says. "Leukemia." My heart sank. Despite everything, a tiny part of me felt bad. As a doctor, I knew how brutal it was. I offered to connect her with specialists, even paid for initial tests anonymously through a fund. But no, she wanted more. The family meeting happened, everyone there, siblings, aunts, uncles. They revealed I was the only match for bone marrow. "You have to do it, Carol," they pleaded. "She's your mother." I hesitated, asked for time. That's when it exploded. Instead of gratitude, they attacked. Mom snarled, "After all I've done for you, you owe me this." "All you've done? Like nearly killing me?" Jake chimed in, "If you say no, you're dead to us." Lisa, selfish monster, think of my kids, they need grandma. Aunts and uncles piled on, calling me heartless, ungrateful. "Uncle Bob, we covered for you all those years." Covered? You ignored child abuse. But the worst? Mom admitted, in front of everyone, that those lockouts were discipline, and I deserved it for being a problem child. No remorse. Then, they demanded I quit my job to care for her post-transplant. "Family first," they said. I was stunned. Quit? After clawing my way up? I left that meeting shaking, but not before recording it secretly on my phone, old habits from journaling. Driving home, I cried, deep, ugly sobs. Why did I still care? Therapy helped unpack it. Years of gaslighting made me doubt myself. But that night, staring at my frostbite scars in the mirror, something snapped. No more. They didn't see me as family. I was a resource, a body to exploit. The humiliation hit hard, being begged, then berated, like I was nothing. Who treats their own blood like that? It crushed my soul, but in that pain, anger ignited. Burning, furious anger. I wasn't breaking, I was forging steel. For the first time, I saw clearly, they were monsters, and I had the power to end it. But I needed a plan, a cold, calculated one. Little did they know, I'd been preparing for something like this for years, gathering ammo that would blow their world apart. Here's where it twists, and damn, it felt good. All those years, I'd been quietly building my arsenal. That secret journal from childhood? Turned into a digital vault, scanned police reports, ER records from hypothermia incidents, even photos of my scars. I had witness statements from old neighbors, the school counselor, even a retired cop who'd responded to calls but couldn't act back then. As a doctor, I accessed my own medical history, confirming the long-term damage, nerve issues, anxiety from PTSD. Therapy notes too, documenting the emotional toll. I'd kept it all hidden, waiting for the day I'd need it. Why? Because deep down, I knew they'd come crawling back. When Mom's diagnosis hit, I consulted lawyers quietly. Can I refuse donation? Yes, it's voluntary, no legal obligation. But to shield from harassment, I got a restraining order ready. Then, the family meeting sequel. They called another one, pressuring me. I showed up calm, folder in hand. Okay, I said, but first, let's talk truth. I laid it out, projected the documents on my phone for all to see. Police report from age 14, child found hypothermic after 3 days outside in winter. Medical notes, severe frostbite, risk of amputation avoided narrowly. Mom's face went pale. That's exaggerated, she sputtered. I played the recording from last time, her admitting the discipline. Gasps around the room. Jake yelled, fake. But I had timestamps, originals. Ants shifted uncomfortably. Uncle Bob muttered, we didn't know it was that bad. Liar, you did. Then the bombshell. I revealed I'd reported them anonymously to Adult Protective Services for elder abuse, for past child abuse, with statutes allowing retroactive review. Lawyers involved now, potential civil suit for damages. You want my Marrow? I said, voice ice cold. Pay for what you did first. They flipped, screaming I'm vindictive, a monster. But I stood firm, no donation. Ever. Walked out, blocked numbers. The power flip? Electric. For once, I held the cards. They'd underestimated me. The problem child became the powerhouse doctor with evidence to bury them. Rage turned to resolve. I was done being victim. But the real revenge? Watching their empire of lies crumble, piece by satisfying piece. Oh, the downfall was glorious, raw, messy, and oh so satisfying. After that meeting, all hell broke loose. Mom tried guilting me publicly, posted on Facebook about her ungrateful daughter refusing to save her life. Tagged family, even some old mutuals. But I was ready. I commented with links to redacted reports, lawyer approved, explaining the abuse without details that could backfire. This is why. Childhood trauma isn't discipline. The post blew up, friends shared, it went viral in our circles. Aunts and uncles got backlash. Uncle Bob's business lost clients after people called him out as an enabler. How could you ignore a freezing child? One review said. He called me sobbing, you're ruining us. Good, feel a fraction of my pain. Jake? His mooching caught up. Without Mom's support, she was too sick to enable, he faced eviction. Begged me for money, sis please. I sent one text, earn your keep. Blocked. Lisa? Her husband left after hearing the full story, taking the kids temporarily. She accused me of destroying her family. Your lies. No, your silence did that. Mom's health declined fast without the transplant. Doctors found a partial match elsewhere, but complications arose. She messaged apologies, fake as ever, I was sick back then, forgive me. Sick? Alcoholism isn't an excuse for torture. I ignored. Family imploded, fights over who failed Mom, inheritance squabbles early. Aunts disowned each other, holidays? Cancelled forever. I heard through a distant cousin, Mom's alone in hospice now, ranting about the monster daughter. Monster? I saved myself. Social media roasted them, Reddit threads popped up after someone leaked the story, not me but karma's a bitch. NTA, commenters said. Revenge served cold, like that winter. Their reputations? Shredded. Jake got arrested for petty theft trying to fund his habits. Lisa's in therapy, finally admitting the toxicity. Uncle Bob? Divorced, business tanking. It was a domino effect of humiliation, exposure stripping their facade. I watched from afar, sipping wine with Alex, feeling that burning anger cool to triumph. They got what they deserved, destroyed by their own cruelty boomeranging back. No pity from me, justice tasted sweet. But now? Time to close the chapter, build my real life without their shadows. And that's it, I'm free, truly free for the first time. After the fallout, I went full no contact, changed numbers, moved to a new address, even got that restraining order enforced when Jake tried showing up at my work. Therapy helped me process the pain, turning it into strength. At 32, my life's blooming. As an oncologist, I save lives daily, ironic, right? Helping strangers while refusing the woman who birthed me. But she never earned that title. Alex and I got married last year in a small ceremony with friends who've become my chosen family, people who celebrate me, not exploit. We adopted a rescue dog, travel on weekends, and I'm writing a book anonymously about surviving abuse, hoping to help others. No kids yet, but when we do, they'll know love, not lockouts. The scars? They fade, but remind me of my resilience. Family called me a monster, but I know the truth, I reclaimed my power. Thriving without them feels like breathing fresh air after years underground. The moral? Real family isn't blood, it's the people who actually love and support you, no strings attached. Blood can be toxic, cut it out and heal. If you're in a similar hell, get out, gather evidence, and don't look back. You deserve freedom too.